And we'll also be sharing some of the questions from the applications, call for applications we put out. So without further ado, let's get into it. Thank you everyone for joining. My name is Oyindamola Oshinobi and I am the host for today's webinar. I am the founder of Shapers Network Africa, a social impact organization championing quality education, youth development, and civic engagement. And as you know, we have, please, if you are not speaking, please unmute yourself, please. And please mute yourself, please, if you are not speaking. Thank you. And at Shapers Network Africa, we have a monthly learning series where young people come together to learn. And for this month, and not for this month only, even till the end of the year, as you know, it's scholarship season, as we've announced in the community, and we'll be bringing different speakers to share their insights on how to ace scholarship applications. The first for this year is the Chevening Scholarship, and we already have Chevenans, the speakers here with us already. Thank you so much for joining early. You even joined early before the participants. Thank you so much. So we'll just go right into it. I will be reading their bios and then each of them will be sharing their Chevening story. And after that, we will be dissecting the questions for this year and for this year's application. And then I don't know if you've seen it. I mean, to the speakers, there's also be some modification of the qualification somehow. And then we'd also be considering some questions from the over 205 responses we got from the call for applications. So without further ado, without wasting time, we are getting right into it. Let me quickly just share with you the bio of the speakers so you know that they are heavyweight and you would want to listen to every word they say. I'm very confident that we please, once again, if you are not speaking, just please. Okay, so the first person here is Jumoke Omodeni. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Jumoke Omodeni is a climate advocate dedicated to equipping communities and young people with the tools to build resilience against climate change. As the executive director of Eco-Science Generation Initiative, a climate-focused social enterprise in Nigeria, she leads efforts to drive climate action and solutions through public education, youth and community empowerment, and leadership development. She is globally recognized as a leading climate advocate in Nigeria, known for challenging systemic barriers and mobilizing youth-led solutions to address the climate crisis. Jumoke's work continues to open up new possibilities for young people and local communities across Africa to lead climate solutions that are sustainable, responsive, and rooted in their strengths. Jumoke is currently one of the 2025 Chevening Scholarship awardees. Please just make a reaction and welcome Jumoke as I read the bio of the next speaker. So up next we have Dawn. Please a second. So up next we have Dawn. Dawn Kene-Okafor is a project manager who has more than half a decade of experience in the development sector. She is currently the programs manager for Roma Girls Care and Support Initiative, an NGO focused on rehabilitating and advocating for the rights of abused girls and children in Enugu State. Her work has led her to work with organizations such as NIP Africa, UNICEF, NAPTIP, and the Ministry of Women Affairs, Community and Social Development, Delta State. Dawn focuses on creating local projects within Southeast Nigeria to increase the resilience of vulnerable populations. She's a recipient of the U.S. Consulate General's Award under the Carrington Youth Fellowship Initiative and is study admissions at Human Squad Incorporated, helping over 300 students process the grad school applications. Please welcome Dawn. Just send a reaction. Welcome Dawn as I read the bio for the last speaker and please welcome them, please. I mean, they've taken out of their time to be here today. And then our speaker up next is Sirri Ryisa. Sirri Ryisa is a digital innovation manager and strategy consultant with over 6 years of experience in leading and managing technology products that deliver value to businesses and end users across various industries. Additionally, she has 1 year of experience in global strategy consulting, where she helps businesses successfully implement strategies for entering new markets, both locally and internationally. As a 2024 Chevna, she's currently pursuing a master's degree in innovation management and entrepreneurship in the United Kingdom, further enhancing her expertise in driving innovation and global strategic growth. Please let's welcome all our speakers as we are moving straight right now into hearing from them what helped them stand out. So first, the agenda for today we'll be having each of our speakers share their Chevening story with us, and then after that, we'll dissect the application questions for this year's application. If you've started the application already, you see there are 4 questions of 300 worth. And we'll be dissecting that, how best you can answer them. And then we'll be taking some questions from the audience here and also from the application responses we got. So let's start with Siri. Siri, are you on the call? Can you share with us your Chevening story just briefly within the next 10 minutes? And then after Siri, we have Jumoke. Just share with us what have you been doing that led to Chevening, how the steps you've taken, how your Chevening experience has been, because I see you are currently on the program, and just let's hear the back story from you. Siri, can you hear me?
Hi, I can hear you. Hi
Oh,
everyone.
okay.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. My name is Siri. I'm a Cameroonian and I'm a current Chevener. I'm finishing my program this September, actually on the 16th. I'd just like to share a little bit with you all my journey as a Chevening scholar, how it has been so far from the beginning till this point. And first of all, Shepherd's Initiative, Shepherd's Network Africa, thank you so much for the opportunity to lend my voice to others, to just help them ace their Chevening scholarship application, just like I did, right? So when I just want to say that I was the first time applicant and I got the scholarship on my first trial. That was something that when I got the application, when I got the scholarship, I realized that so many people in the achieving journey had applied more than 2, 3 times. We even had someone in my cohort who had applied 8 times and then he got a scholarship on the ninth time. I was just like, maybe I'm privileged, maybe I'm not. That's great, right? I finished a scholarship in 2023, and then when I got back home, this my boss from one of my organization, he presented the scholarship to me and he was like, this really suits your profile. You have been doing great things across Africa and all that. I want you to try the Chevening scholarship. At first sight, I ignored like, I'm just from school. I don't want another master's again. I'm tired of tracking all the educations and all that. I just want to make money now. And then he was like, yes, I know you want to make money, but you need a stable network that will help you progress really quickly. And I was like, okay, fine. I ignored the thing, going about my daily activities and all that. And then someone shared the application with me again. And I was like, this cannot be any coincidence, right? So let me just go ahead to apply for the scholarship. I started my whole application process and I did the first draft of my application. I reached out for 40 people on on LinkedIn if they could help me proofread my essays. Lo and behold, no one responded to me on LinkedIn. And I was just like, oh, okay, so this is it. So I went back again and then I tried to network with the Cameroon Chevening community because I'm a Cameroonian and I got a few people. But at the time, they were finishing their scholarship program, so it was a little bit tight for them to go through my application. I had to start digging and then look for applicants who had applied previous years, maybe like in 2022 or 2021. And then fortunately for me, I found someone and the person I found helped me proofread my essays. So the first time that he did the essays, he was like, I think you have done a great job already, but just do a little more than everyone is going to do so that you're going to stand out and you make a difference. So I was asking him what's the reason, like, and then he now told me the gravity of the application. He said this is an application where so you want to make that impact, that little thing that everyone will not do to make you stand out. And then I went back to the application, I went back to the Chevening website, and I read that website four times over and over. If you ask me anything concerning the Chevening website to 2024, I could tell you word to word what that website was saying, front to back. I went about it like over 10 times. And then when I came back to the application, I went on YouTube, check resources, how to apply for this scholarship. Since it's really competitive, let me see what other people are doing. I checked a couple of YouTube videos and then I started the application, which to an extent, they helped me build my application better because I have all the three different applications I wrote. And when I read them out loud to myself, the first one, if I had submitted what I had, I would not have gotten the scholarship. I read the second one to myself over and over, and I'm like, if I was on the panel, penally, the people are joining, and I knew that I will not select myself. So I went again to write a third draft. So when I did the third draft, and then I read the third draft, and then I was sure that okay, if I send this application out, someone might just pick something from this application and then they will want to get into the scholarship. Before I was writing the application based on my academic excellence, I was telling them what my first class grades, my this is my second master's I'm going to pursue now, and all those things. But when I read the website over and over, I realized that they were not looking for grades necessarily. They wanted people who could actually lead, people who are leading, people who can make a difference, not academic wise, but in leadership. And then I understood that the Chevening Scholarship is not solely focusing on academic, it's really focusing on maybe the application process that has to do with whatever I'm doing concerning my leadership style and all that. So I had to now focus on the leadership part of the application, and that was what gave me a greater chance to tailor my application in the way that I did. And then after that period, when they sent out the first emails for people who were selected, I was selected. Now I'm selected, and I did not know what to do, how to prepare for the next phase of the interview. And someone shared a link with me for a mentorship community. I joined the mentorship community and it was dead. And I'm like, this community cannot be dead with this number of people in it. I am a leader. What can I do? I started organizing mentorship program for the Chevening application. I was never a scholar before. I don't know how they go about it, but I had to read a lot of resources online, check on YouTube, and then I organized this mentorship program based on what I read online and the YouTube videos that I watched already concerning the application. And I'm just happy to say that whatever we did in that mentorship program, over 95% of us that were in that program got a scholarship. It's almost like a blind person leading a group of people to cross the road because she did not know her way around it. But I was just so happy that everyone who attended that call, because we did it over 3 months, a span of 3 months period, everyone who attended that call, by God's grace, over 95% of us are in the UK now. And maybe we should have had like 98%. The remaining 3% just did not take the scholarship because they took other scholarships and all that. And I've been in the UK for 1 year, and I can tell you how transformative this journey has been for me. It has broadened my knowledge on so many things, and I just wish that whoever is going in for the Chevening application, now I see someone who is currently coming to the UK now, just make sure that you maximize your time in the UK very well in terms of your school, in terms of the environment itself, and everything that you have to do for this scholarship. I think I've shared more than 10 minutes already. I just wanted to let you know that walk you guys through the process, how it actually started for me. And if I did it, if I'm able to succeed through the scholarship program, anyone, just anyone, if you're on this call right now and you put in the work, you read the application website very well, understand what you're writing, you will definitely have the scholarship. If I did it, I'm sure that you will be able to do it better than I did. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Siri. That was so inspiring and enlightening. Thank you so much. I'm sure some people will have questions for you. So we'll move to the next speaker. Jumoke, are you on the call? So you can just share with us your Chevening story within like the next 10 minutes. You know, what led to Chevening? What were you doing before Chevening? How was your Chevening story? You know, Jumoke, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, yes. Thank you.
Thank you. And apologies, my network is, I have no idea what's going on, but just please manage with me. And in case I cut off,
Fine.
don't worry, I'll be right back.
Okay.
So, hi everyone. Just trying to put it on to say hi. So I'm going to put it up anyways, just to help with the bandwidth. But thank you so much for the wonderful invitation and this amazing platform. And I couldn't pronounce the name, but for the first speaker, I saw Siri. Well done and congratulations on your scholarship. So for me, the story is more like, what was I even doing? So I finished through a fellowship called the Currency Youth Fellowship. It's a fellowship for civic leaders where we get trained in a series of project management, stakeholder engagement, resource mobilization, and a lot of things that you really need hands-on experience for social impact leaders. And then we were on our way to the US consulate to have our like graduation. So inside the bus, everybody was just like talking about what they're going to do post the fellowship is called sci-fi. So people were like sharing their post sci-fi stories, what they're going to do. So me, I was of the opinion that no, after my sci-fi, I'm going to go ahead, go back to the community, go back to the ministry, go back to the politician, really, really like put fire under the things I'm currently advocating for, especially in as regards to climate change, because I'm a climate advocate. And yeah, so one of my colleagues was now like, Jimmy, how about you apply for the scholarship? They think like it aligns with the goals that I'm trying to pursue. And that's like I've seen it before, even within my organization, like I've seen it before, but I've never really paid attention. So when someone mentioned it, I just decided to check it out and see yeah, because that time I was like exploring opportunities for self-development and personal development, especially in the area of climate futures. So I was quite interested in any opportunity in that area. So I checked it out. As per I have an habit of always hearing from people ahead of me before doing something. So I've not even started applying. I went on LinkedIn, I connected with a lot of scholars, I reached out to them, introduce myself. What am I doing? This is currently the stage I am. I don't, because some people are like have this habit of reaching out to people and telling them to write their essays. But then I went straight and said, I just need your guidance in terms of structure and like how to gather my thoughts. And out of like 28 people I sent message to, only one person responded. Then the second person responded. And I when I was sending message, I sent to like people in my country, like over 26 of them were from my country and just two of them were outside, not from my country. So only those two people responded. Um, the two people that responded were not in my country, and there was someone from Kenya, and then there was someone from I think Tanzania. And so the both of them said, okay, when I'm done with my essay, I should just send it to them, that they are willing to like guide me. So then because of that motivation, I felt like that just made me start researching. I started researching, and I my work in the climate space, I do most of participatory research. So also I have this habit about something and I don't feel connected to it, I will not apply. I just have that habit. Like I need to like take my time, gather my thought process, like fall in love with the whole application process before even applying. So I started researching. I had a lot of information. Even I've not even started writing. That was like in August. I've not even started writing. I had information about the UK priority in my state. I was following them. I knew when the consul um general was in my state, what he went there to do, what they were talking about. So I had all this data. And the first essay I wrote, when my mentor looked at it, he said, Jimmy, you have all this so much information, could really, really add depth to your essay, but you're talking about something else. You're like everywhere. So I was like, well, how am I everywhere? I'm just trying to capture so many things that I'm doing in my community. And then he said, no, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to add it to our larger community. And that was like the Kenya community. It's an interview prep place that I also meet other people that were applying like myself. So this is where I started getting a lot of ideas, a lot of thoughts, a lot of how to align my essay. I was doing so many things that intersect, but I really wanted to like paint a very good picture and sell myself well. And they were very instrumental in helping me structure my thoughts. It was not a lot of going back and forth because the only time they reviewed was like twice. And it was super generous with its time. Like each time we review on a video call, it was always like a 4 hours call. So they helped me. And then when they added me to the group, I still had like seniors that were reviewing for me, not my essay this time. Um, but then that was at the interview stage, and then reviewing my thoughts, reviewing different things. So that's literally my story. I felt like one transformative point for me was that mentor, that senior colleague just responding to my chats, because the thing is, within my own self, I was not ready to apply for that program. I was not ready to apply. I just felt when he said, okay, share me your essay, that was like literally the motivation I needed to like put things together and really, I was like, how can someone even decide to help me and I don't want to put in that effort? Then I started researching. I researched so much that I knew the UK priority in most southwestern states in Nigeria, and I could tell it off by heart. I knew what they were doing in different states, when they come to those different states, who they see, what they post, how it intersects with their larger goal, what their ambitions was. I was literally stalking these people. I was like siphoning information, trying to make a sense and see where I can really sell myself and how investing in me can really push those goals for them forward. So once my essay was done, I submitted and then I closed the chapter. When I saw my you've been invited for interview email, I was like, wait, oh, guys, I've not even shared everything about me. Are you guys kidding me? This is a lot. Like I felt, like I don't know their model of selecting people, but they really put in so much thoughts than even what you're writing down. So don't feel like, oh, you might have the most impressive essay and they're not still going to select you. But one of the things that you should put at the back of your mind is alignment. Um, Now this cohort, the people broken it down a little bit. I feel like it's more helpful with the current structure that we already have now, that they have like their priorities, like what they want you to say, not just like beating around the bush. I think it's very alignment is the key when you're submitting for this kind of things. If you're submitting in health and they don't have a focus on health, don't go and submit in health. Try to find what focus in under health your area intersects and then sell yourself at that point. Chevening is a very big scholarship that you can use to achieve so many things if you really, really, just like the last speaker said, so many opportunities. So it's not, most of the time, scholars don't even go ahead to do the things that they said they would do in their essay, because when they are exposed to new knowledge, they question their existing plans and then dream ahead and even dream bigger goals. So it does not really matter that the essay is not capturing everything, but ensure that whatever you're talking about, just focus and pinpoint. And I felt like overall, that's just like how I started. And even these days, I keep telling people that before you start writing the essay, go and, in fact, I read all their reports. I read their reports, the DCTS scheme. I was reading, I was like, I bought a lot of popcorn during this time. I'll just be chewing like popcorn and I'll be reading what they were doing. Their past report, these people have focus, these people have priority. They have like 10-year goal, 100-year goal, 50-year goal, what they are doing here, why they want to do it, and where they are going. Once you can find an alignment, you have like a very beautiful beginning to start with. That's just my opinion. But yeah, community was very helpful for me. I feel like it gave me the spirit and just someone saying it, because I didn't even know. me, I was just doing my thing, and then I was talking about how passionate I am. When I'm done with my sci-fi, I will go back to my community and then keep pushing those elders to do the right thing. And someone just mentioned, oh, how about you apply for this? And that's when I started looking into that area. So yeah, uh, back to the. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Jumoke. Yeah, thanks to the network for not cutting you off. That was really inspiring and so interesting. So we move to Dawn. I think Dawn would explain herself the things behind. So Dawn, yeah, we move to you just within 10 minutes here. Chevening story. I know you have a Chevening story and you explain that part to us. Yeah.
Okay, hi everybody. Good evening. Hi Damola. Thank you so much for having me here. Nice to meet everybody. Okay, so my evening story. Is it like what led me to apply or how I applied? What perspective
Yeah,
should I
like
come
what you've
from?
been doing before Chevening, just an idea. What led you to Chevening? How was the application for you? What do you think stood out? And all of that. Shares bad gist in a way. Yes. Please, if you are not speaking, mute yourself, please.
Okay.
Okay, you can go ahead.
So all right, thank you very much again. I would say that what led me to apply for Chevening? I've been hearing about Chevening like long before now. And I think what really stands out for me about Chevening is how they branded themselves as, the scholarship that focuses on creating leaders, or that focuses on harnessing the leadership potential of people, of their scholars, right? And I brand myself as a leader. I see myself as a leader. Youth leadership has always been something that I was interested in. So cheating had always been something that was at my, more like my disposal basically to apply for. But I became really serious about it after listening to, you know, somebody's story, Temilade Salami. I'm very sure we all know Temilade Salami. So I listened to her story and I was like, okay, you know what? I'm actually going to give this a try. I'm going to apply for Chevening. And when I started the process of applying, I did not really have any other person that I knew was applying for Chevening. So I graduated in 2023, but all my friends were not focused on applying for scholarship at the moment. So I was the only one in my immediate space that was applying for Chevening. And then I had to start finding community, oh, who else is writing Chevening application? What was the Chevening application like? I watched a lot of YouTube videos, actually. I had to watch a lot of YouTube videos for me to, because I heard that Chevening scholarship is very, very, very competitive. So I had to, you know, watch videos when trying to, structure my application. And then I passed it through my lecturers because I was quite close to, some of my lecturers back in school. So I passed my essays to them for them to check out, or spot potholes in my essays. And they gave me feedback and returned it to me. So I would say that the entire Chevening, application process would allow you to really think deep about what it is that you want to do, right? It is structured in such a way that you have to build a connection between the things that you have done and the things that you plan to do. So it's a whole straight line. And I also learned like that for this cohort, they are focusing on, specific themes like promoting growth and prosperity, strengthening security, which wasn't like that, when I applied. But the same principles apply. I think it was Jumoke. Was it Jumoke that talked before me?
Yes, yes, it was Jumoke.
Okay. So I heard when she was saying something like how she had to go and download the reports, read what they have done and all of that stuff. And I really wanted to commend that because that was the same thing that I did. So I went to download the Chevening 2023 report and I had to check, what Chevening has done so far, because I'm in the development field, right? So I wanted to know how many people in the alumni community are from the development field, right? I inculcated that into my essays. So when I was going for my interview, I had to let them know that, oh, I'm in the development field though. And in the development field, Chevening alumni are, how will I put it? Chevening alumni in the development field make up, the top percentage of people that Chevening has supported so far, right? And so I'm going to be adding to that statistics, and then I'm going to be making changes, building on the foundation of what Chevening is doing for development professionals. So these were some of the things that I inculcated. So I ensured that I made use of statistics. Very important. So you're making use of statistics, you're making use of personal experiences, right? You're making use of what again would I say? Research experiences, if you have research experiences. So the entire process was very, it was draining. It was draining, but then once you do your research, and make use of all your research, your ask questions, reach out to past scholars, it gets easier along the way. So I would say that that's what my application process, or what led to my application being submitted and all of that. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dawn. Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you everyone for sharing. Thank you, Jumoke and Sirri, for sharing your story too. So we would move to the next, and we'll be dissecting the questions for this year's application. So if you've started the application already, you would see that there are 4 questions. I'll be putting them up in the charts now. 4 questions this year of at least 300 words each. And then I think there's also one thing that for Chevening, there's this, aside applying to the Chevening Scholarship, which I think many people would really need insights to, there's also you have to apply to the universities. Like you have to choose from their the list of universities they partner with or something. You have to apply to those universities aside the Chevening Scholarship. So can you just explain like how does that work? How many applications are you submitting altogether? Do you have to get the admission or something? Because it's also like a major question. People want to know about it. That, oh, I have to apply to a university, maybe like University of Sussex or maybe University of Manchester or something before I apply to Germany or something. So can any of the speakers just explain that? I'm sorry, light just went where I am, so it went dark. But at least you can hear me.
Happy
Okay.
to
So
go.
Jumoke, we can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. My internet. I thought you wanted to call us one after the other. That's okay. Thank
Oh, okay.
you.
Okay.
I hope you can hear me now.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So for me, technically, I put in so much thought to select my school. And it was quite sad that a lot of people don't see it that way. And then some people still get the scholarship and still lose it. And I was so not happy about that. So for me, I first look at alignment, and also first, just to answer your question so I don't like go overboard. You have to apply to the schools, plan on seeking or getting admitted to any of the schools before, because you need at least one unconditional offer um, before you can be confirmed a Chevening scholar. So that's a very key component of this application process. And I think it's really important. It's not even only alignment with the course, alignment with the school system. Is it a school that will stress you, a school that does not care about their students? What's the environment like? What's the faculty like so many questions that stem from me, because I had this experience a while ago. I tried to apply for I think Erasmus last year, and after applying I had these issues confirming my this whole accreditation status of my institution back in Nigeria. I was so angry. I was like, how can I get an award? And this thing would be an issue because it's actually like was a big deal. So since then, I started saying that what I'm going to do is I'm going to research every single detail about any school I'm going to apply to. I'm going to ensure that I get all the details. But for me, it was three things. I was looking at um how powerful the school is. When I'm training to be a climate politician, a climate leader, and it's important for me to be in a kind of space where I can build authority around my voice. I don't care if it's Cambridge, Oxford, all those like big schools. Like I was more keen on aligning with the school, a school that serves me and a school I can serve. So that's first. And second was the faculty. Um, how diverse they are. I don't want to feel weird. I don't want to feel weird. I love an atmosphere where I can really talk to a lot of people. So diversity and also sustainability. I feel like that was like the main key thing for me. I wanted to study climate change or climate future in a school that actually practice what they preach. I don't want schools that are silently sponsoring wars or doing research on genocide and all these things to kind of add fire to like the existing things. And I was so thorough to the extent that I went to start reading research of these professors one after the other and their background just to ensure that I'm going to the right school. And that's I selected my first school, University of Leeds. My second school was University of Plymouth, although Plymouth later said that they are not doing the course again. So I selected another school and then Loughborough University because of they stands out when it comes to analytics and all those quantitative analysis as regards to climate informatics and climate science. And I felt like, oh, that was like a very good direction for me to learn technical skills. But then I still went to my first choice because I want to delve into politics and the alignment is just there for me. Like everything is just in Nigeria, they say it's giving. Everything is just giving for the school. Everything I had on my list is ticking, sustainability, tick, research power, tick, diverse faculty, tick, even their activities on campus. Like what are they doing? What do they allow their students to do? And the opportunities that they give to their students. And I remember my institute also allows people to attend COP events, which are like all those top climate negotiation events that I can really attend just being a student of the school, and they allow me attend. So yeah, those were like the key factors for me. So it's really important. I feel like the school can really make or mar your application. So please pay attention to that thing. Don't go and select school because you like the course. Put more thought process into the course. Go like the module, check it one after the other. Is what they are teaching, does it make sense? For me, my course was so beautiful, like climate science, society, and politics, which is a course that can really make me well-rounded, a transdisciplinary course, which can make me a well-rounded climate leader. I don't want to specialize. I have so many courses in those schools kept trying to specialize me. They will say, oh, do something on climate change adaptation, do something on climate change mitigation. When I saw the course, it was almost as if I fell in love with it. I was like, this is it. This is the course I've been looking for. So like it was like a full cycle, like, okay, this is perfect for me. And you literally have to get into this course. So that was like the kind of energy that I put into it. And I feel like because it's going to hurt so much that you get this award and you lose it because something happened. So people also have to write TOEFL to apply to these schools. And most of them didn't even know until they were trying to get their application confirmed to conditional, from conditional to unconditional. And all this stress, I did face it too, because just like I said, I put in so much thought process into selecting those schools. So I knew that I was not going to write any TOEFL test. I am not writing any English test. I'm from an English-speaking country. I can speak English. So I'm not writing any test. Some people didn't know. It caught them aware, off guard. And some people had to like write TOEFL 6 days before deadline, 10 days before deadline. And, some even eventually lost their scholarship. So yeah, that's all from me. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much, Jumoke. Let's just hear from Siri on this. Do you have any insights on the schools and all? And then must you have gotten admission from those universities you're applying to before Chevening then gives you the award? Siri, yes, and then we go to the questions.
Okay, hi everyone again. For the application process for the schools, you don't need to have you don't need to have a university acceptance before applying for the scholarship. In my situation, I applied for the scholarship, and then I had also applied for my universities. When I was going for my interview, I already had all my unconditional offer letters. But that's not the case with so many people. A lot of people did not have the unconditional offers letters yet. Some had conditional offers, and some did not even have admissions yet. So when they got the email in February that they have to start doing their interviews around April, they started filing in for their application, and you could see that they were really tense. So my advice would be that check your university, apply to those universities, as many as possible, so that when you start making your choices, you can start relating them to what you really want to do after your graduations and stuff like that. And one question that everyone is always asking me is that, do I need to get an admission letter before I apply for the scholarship? And the answer is no. You can get your you can get your invitation to the interview without even securing an unconditional offer. But make sure that before you go for your interview, have an unconditional offer letter, or you're sure that the condition you have to meet for the school to give you an unconditional offer is something that you can really meet up with. Maybe like writing an English exams or presenting your certificate in a certain way and stuff like that. So just be sure that when you're going in for your final interview, you can have an unconditional offer. And even if you don't have an unconditional offer, you're sure that the conditions you have to meet with your unconditional offers are something that you can actually do quickly to get your offer letters. The next thing that I want to talk about when it comes to picking your universities and everything is that there are different criteria that you want to pick your university. Some look at world rankings in terms of the university, in terms of the courses. I would really advise that you look at the ranking in terms of your university, because arriving in the UK, I just realized that all universities in the UK are really heavy on branding, right? That's what is selling the universities. A university can be maybe top 5% globally, and in your field of studies, they are ranked like 200 or they are ranked like 500 in the world and all that. So be sure that whatever you're going to study, if you're picking University of Sussex, we all know that Sussex is a university that is the first in development studies. So you have to check that if you're applying for development studies, that should be a university where you're looking forward to applying to University of Sussex. And do they necessarily have world ranking in terms of the university itself? Their ranking might be a little bit further, but for the program you're going to study, their ranking is at the top. So you want to look at those things before you're applying. And just like Jumoke already mentioned, try to research your professors, how you go in, how they're going to take you, how they're going to treat you. Look at their papers that they have written already. What are people saying, or what are ex-students from this university saying? You can actually start networking with them. In my case, I had to build a lot of connections with alumni from my university and the people who did something in my field of studies. And I understood a lot of things from them before I started applying. So one thing about the UK university is that they are so heavy on branding. And because they're heavy on branding, make sure that you look for your course, what you're going to study. If you have 3 unconditional offers, now check the rankings. In this particular field of studies, is my university ranked top? Is my university ranked this? If it is, how are my professors? Is it an enabling environment for what I'm studying? Like, do they bring, if you're going to study anything concerning business, do they bring people from top MBAs to come and talk in your universities during guest lectures? Do they bring people that can actually give you internships? Like for my school, the one thing that I was really passionate about it was that for every module that we did, we worked with organizations. We work with different companies, and they have to put like 4 to 3 teams in an organization to work with. So you see that you're not just studying, but you're already immersing yourself in the professional world. I literally had to be writing report, like I was writing report to submit to my boss every now and then. And I had over 8 modules to deal with. So for each of these modules, I was doing the module like I was actually working. So you have to check those things to see how you're applying for university, and then check the cities too, because you can get to a city where it's too busy, and because of everything going on, sometimes train issues in the UK is something that is you have to really pay attention to. Buses, you see the things on TikTok where people say you're running behind a train and 1 minute they are gone. It's no joke. So make sure that if you're running behind the bus and the bus is leaving you, you can actually walk to your universities. This is not just for the uni or the cities too. It also depends on where you're staying when you're applying. I'll advise most people to stay with the university's accommodation so that if you're missing your bus, you're able to commute to school on foot, or you can use some schools, some universities are so large that they have bicycles around that you can actually bike yourself to school and all that. So check all of these things before you're applying for your universities. Do not just, and then also do not, because I always tell people this scholarship, it's fully funded, it's free. So do not try to feed from the lowest hanging fruit. Aim for the top. While you're making all of these selections and all that, look at the top universities. They always say the top 5% in the world, right? Look for the top 5%, the top 5% universities in the world. University of Leeds, UCL, University of Surrey, the Cambridge and all that. Now, that should not just be your only focus. Your focus should be the courses, right? But because this education they're giving you is free, you want to go in for the best. You don't have to settle. So I'm not trying to downgrade any university and all that, but you cannot be looking for admission in a university that maybe is ranked 3,000 in the world and all that, where you can actually have a uni that is ranked top 200 in the world and stuff like that. So see how you want to strike the balance between looking at your courses, knowing that this academy you're going to achieve, it's free, and also input your convenience and all that. Convenience in terms of if the bus leaves me today, at this point, can I commute to school? If the train is not picking me up today, can I commute to school and all those things? So try to see that you want to put all of these things together before picking your university. And then in terms of cities, some people can argue that maybe London is very rough. They prefer to go to Birmingham because of this. Some people want to go to these particular cities and all that. Try to see what city is going to suit your lifestyle. If you're I'm not a Nigerian, but I've actually been in Nigeria a couple of times now. And I know that Lagos is a very busy place. People are always up and running in Lagos. If you know that you're not a fast-paced kind of person, picking a school in London should not be your priority. So picking a school out of London, which is still very great, should be your priority if you're not a fast-paced person. So try to weigh what you actually like, weigh your courses, look at your professors, look at the environment. Is it an enabling environment for your studies? Is it something that is going to do better or make you improve in whatever you're going to study and all that? Factor all of these things together before picking your university. I think that's the mistake that some people actually did when they came to the UK. And then one thing is, because it's the UK, people forget that the UK actually has 4 different countries in it. Someone got their admission and they're like, oh, Siri, I'm actually going to Scotland. I wanted to be in England. You should have known that already while applying. Don't just get carried away because it's a scholarship, but make sure that you're getting I always tell people, try to aim for, if people are aiming for 100%, aim for 110% so that you can be the best at what you're doing. And if you're aiming for that 110%, you're getting the best, you're being the best, and you're actually doing what suits your own profile. Do not start late, start early, because when you start late, you start rushing things. You just want to pick the lowest hanging fruit. Oh, because this university accept me, should I just go for this university? Because this program accept me, let me just go for this. If you start early now, don't wait for tomorrow. If you actually start now and you apply to 10 universities, maybe they all reject you. God forbid that's not your case, but if they all reject you, you know that you still have time to apply for more universities. And you're not just applying for any universities, or you're not just taking any offer, you're taking this offer because it's what you really want. So that when you come to the UK, you don't sit in your room and you're like, oh my God, I wish I had gone to this university. I wish I'd gone to this city. What will make the difference? It's 2 minutes of your time that you take to read through the website, read through, and also do an internal audit for yourself. Where do I want to be in the UK? What do I want to do in the UK and all that? So if you put all of these things together, you'll be able to help you make informed decisions concerning your universities, where you want to study, and how comfortable you be in the UK. Also factor in the stipend. If you're someone who spends a lot of money, you don't want to pick London because London is quite expensive. And you don't want to choose a uni in London because it's quite expensive and your stipend might just get finished unless you have another source of income. So try to factor all of those things. How much am I getting for my stipend? How much am I going to be paying for my accommodation and all those things? If you can factor all of these things into your plan, then you can make better decisions on how to pick your university, the city, your course, looking out for your professors, reading their art. For like when I was picking my university, I think out of my 8 lecturers, I can tell you everything about 5 of them, word to word, what they study, where they started, the one from Russia, and I will tell you every single detail about them. That's how intentional I was when I was applying for the scholarship. So just try to bring the intentionality of your life into the scholarship. Pour in everything that you can pour in to get the best. Remember, it's free, and if it's free, make maximum use of these free resources that you're getting. And then when you get to the university, so another advice I'll just like to lay, maybe the question can come up, maybe it will not come up because sometimes people neglect it, is that when you get into the university provides you with every single resource that you need to study. If you're looking for something and then you cannot access it in the library, you cannot get it through your lecturers, make sure that you reach out to student union. Universities in the UK are designed in a way that they want to give you comfort. They don't just want you to study and go home. They want to make you study in an environment that is conducive for them, right? Sometimes even when it comes, people want to do part-time jobs and all that, you can start looking for your part-time jobs in your university. There are so many part-time jobs in universities, helping a lecturer, helping in the canteen, and all those kind of things that you want to do. You can start looking at those things. So make sure that if you have the slightest inconvenience when you come to the UK, especially for Jumoke, and I think Don, who will be coming to the UK this year, the slightest inconvenience you have, before you call your mommy back home, before you call your siblings back home, reach to your school, students' union, or administration or anything, because the way the UK system is being designed, it is designed in a way that they want you to be comfortable, and they want the promotion for themselves too, right? So they want you to be so comfortable that when you go out there, you talk about your university with pride and so much happiness in your heart, or you feel fulfilled after finishing your university. So when you get there, make 100% use. Use the library like you would want to. You just make sure that you use. Chevening is paying, they are spending approximately 50,000 and in francs CFA, because I'm Cameroonian, they're spending approximately 50 million francs CFA on each student. I don't want to, this is not small money. This is not change, right? You want to make full use of the money that Chevening is spending on you. The slightest inconvenience, call your university, call the chief, call your PO. This year, the structure this year is that the POs are able to visit every university in person to speak to the scholars and all that. You have access to their email. I have a mental health issues and stuff like that. Email them. They'll give you a support, or you email your uni gives you support. So that's one advantage you have. You are going to receive support from 2 different people: your PO, the chevening body, and your university. I mean, anything that you come to, any inconvenience that you have, make sure that you start seeking them from your school, your POs, and the chevening. I don't think you should have a problem with that. And if it's beyond these people, look out for your chevening community. People are always willing to help. So try to see that you have a school that the community also is very active and very vibrant. I think that's the detail that I have to share concerning picking your university, making sure that you're comfortable when you move to the UK, and having everything at your disposal and making a maximum use of it. The only thing that is going to make you stand out is if you do the 1% of a thing that everyone does not do, which is reading. You can miss out a lot if your school sends you an email and then you don't go through the entire email. You might just realize that, oh, this email was giving opportunity for people to travel to a different continent, just to, especially people who are in development studies, always wanting to go out of the UK to see how things are functioning in other places and all that. So when your email comes in, I bet you if you're timing it, you'll not take more than 10 minutes to read a complete email. That's one thing that hundreds or thousands of people in a university will not do. You know, imagine that they will send an email in a university of over 15,000 people, and just like 100 people are going to read that email, or they know what that email is even talking about, And imagine if it's something you're supposed to apply for, you're competing with just 100 people. And the 100 people you're competing with is because you gave in 10 minutes of your time to read everything. So try to see that you don't neglect things that could be useful to you, especially university emails. They always have something in stock. It's either they have a program for you to apply to that can give you part-time jobs. They have a program for you to apply to that can be taking you out of the UK to experience something outside. They have something for you to apply to that is going to maybe make your learning process easy or give you different opportunities for different things. Maybe that's all I have to share now. Next time when I'm supposed to talk, I can share the other things that I think that have made a difference while I stayed in the UK and doing my whole program here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sirri. Thank you for that. Very insightful and you shared with us. Thank you. So let's dive right into the question. So each speaker will be taking one. I think a speaker would have to take two because questions are four. So the first question, please, I have pasted it in the chat so you can all go through it. So Dawn, you'll be taking the first. It's about leadership experience, and it says, describe a time when you demonstrated leadership. In your answer, please address the following. What was the context or challenge you faced? What specific actions did you take as a leader? What was the outcome? What did you learn? And how has this experience shaped your approach to leadership? So maybe you answered something similar when you were applying for it, but can you just give within like 3-4 minutes, just give insights on how you think people should approach this question? Dawn, what things should they do, or what can they point out that would make it stand out amongst the thousands of leadership essays that Chevening will receive? Because even for you considering Chevening, you're already a leader and you've done something related to leadership, or you've done some leadership work. But even amongst all those leadership essays and leadership positions and people seeing themselves as leaders, how do you stand out? So Dawn, um, just take the next 3 to 5 minutes to explain this, and then we move to the next question.
Okay, thank you very much. So thank you, Siri. Thank you, Jumoke, for the answers that you've been giving, especially Siri, because I mean you've already gone ahead of me now. So I'm taking tips down, for my own self. Did you get? Okay, so 3 to 5 minutes. The first thing I would say is generally make sure I'm even happy that Chevening has granted how would I call it, like a set of themes already, because that was one of the things I believe helped my essay. So I'm focusing on migration, trafficking and irregular migration, right? So all my experiences that I listed out for all my essays, I ensured that they had themes of migration or trafficking. So the first thing I would say is even your leadership essay must have a theme, right? So don't put in your leadership essay theme of climate, then in the next essay you're putting theme of migration, the next essay you're putting theme of security, one thing like that. Make sure that your essays have an underlying theme in everything, right? Because that's what is going to make you stand out. It's going to make you look like an intentional person, right? So even if it is climate, education, migration, you have to be able to put a link between everything. Do not make your essays scattered. The second thing I would say is that make use of numbers. Make use of numbers, names of organizations, etc. So if you have worked with approximately 500 persons, or you have helped the life of 2 people, or you helped the life of 1 person somewhere, or you helped 50 people, whatever the number is that you have worked with, make sure to put a number to your impact, right? And then put names to your experiences. Do not say, I worked with an organization, I worked with a company. Who is an organization? Who is a company? So you have to put, oh, I worked with the ministry of so to do so. Or I worked with this organization named so, and I did so. So you always have to put numbers and then put names. You don't necessarily have to put names of people, but names of organizations and communities where you have worked with. You can list 1 or 2. It's also important that you put them. And if peradventure all that you have been doing are in teams, list out your own role in that team. So do not make the mistake of saying we did. They don't want to hear what we did. They want to hear what you did. So for your leadership essay, I'm going to say that your first paragraph should be about the background or what introduced you to that line of leadership. What introduced you to getting, inspired to lead? If you can hear me so far, please just put like a thumbs up so that I know that you guys are following. And
Yes, we can hear you.
okay,
Yes, we can.
great. So your first paragraph should be what introduced you to that field, right? So for me, I'll just read out, my introduction. I said, I grew up experiencing various social issues, the most prevalent being gender-based violence. And I realized that this affected mainly women and girls lacking empowerment and information in my locality. So that is an introduction to, okay, what now spurred me up to action? So your first paragraph should be an introduction into, that. Sorry, is not saying something? Okay, I'm just going to continue. And then the next thing, like I said, please mute your mic if you're not speaking. Okay, so the next thing is that you now say what it is that you did about that situation you found yourself in. So for instance, I said that I teamed up with other volunteers to provide legal information pamphlets to women in different communities across Lagos State. And then I listed an instance of a personal interaction I had with one of the victims of domestic violence that now informed more of my decisions. So you have to make sure you are showing your proactiveness. Then I would say show your progression, show growth in your leadership, right? So because I started volunteering, to share legal pamphlets of information to communities, to women in communities across Lagos State, and then I interacted with one victim of, gender-based violence, I now progressed. So my second paragraph showed my progression. What I said was, as I progressed in social welfare services, I also began to understand the intersectionality of gender-based violence with other social issues like human trafficking and forced migration. So you can show your progression, you can show growth. So you can show growth in different ways, in the number of roles you took or in the kind of activities that you did. So for instance, maybe you started out as a volunteer. You now decided that, oh, okay, I've done volunteering 1 time, 2 times. Let me now host my own program and people volunteer with you. That is showing growth, is showing leadership, right? And then another thing you need to do is to show improvement in your impact. So for instance, I said, I can share my essays with, with everybody later on. So I did 1 or 2 things. Then I said, as a result of this, my organization recorded a 57% increase in report cases from identified traffic victims. So you must be able to record progress that your work has brought. So some people call this the STAR approach. Some people call it the STAR approach. The situation you found, the task you did, the action you took, and then the result that your leadership brought about. So that's what I'm going to use to summarize this, because I know Oyedabola gave me 5 minutes. I'm sure I've already done more than 5 minutes. Ensure that your leadership essay has the STAR approach. What situation introduced you to that field? What task did you feel like you needed to do? What were the actions you now took out of those tasks? And what were the results that your actions, brought about? Very, very, very important. And then, like I said, mention organizations. If you have worked in organizations, mention 1 or 2 communities, use numbers, use percentage, use statistics. So I'm going to end this here, and I hope it was helpful. Okay.
Yeah, it
So I'll
was
say the
really,
last
really
thing
helpful.
actually. Sorry, wait, the last thing actually is that when you are done with all of this, the last paragraph can be you linking all these experiences to why you then want to apply for Chevening. So maybe like your last paragraph, for me, I put my motivation to apply for the Chevening Scholarship therefore lies in my desire to amplify my leadership impact, especially towards vulnerable populations on the move in Nigeria. So you can link it up to why you therefore now want to apply for Chevening from everything that you have done. So that's what I would say. Thank you guys very much.
Okay, thank you so much, Don. Okay, Siri, I see you're raising your hand. Yes, please, you can go ahead. Like a few minutes before we take the
Yeah,
next question.
I just wanted to add to what Don already mentioned. Like, one urge that people have when it comes to writing their leadership essays, especially when people tell you that you should put numbers or statistics to whatever impact you have created. A lot of people feel the need to lie about the impact they have created. Now, Chevening is not worried about the numbers. They are not worried about you have impacted 20,000 people or 500,000 people and all that. They are interested in your ability to lead people. They are interested in your ability to initiate a movement that can create change in people's life. For instance, when I was doing my application and I started running the mentorship program and everything, when I heard people give their stories and then I compared to my essay, I'm like, just maybe these people have different criteria of selections, because I saw people who have run programs or businesses that have impacted over 60,000's life and all that. And I just threw an application that had impacted just like 500 people's life, close to 600 and stuff like that. If you want to compare 60,000 to 500, that's the gap is really wide, right? So Chevening is not looking for the plenty people you have impacted. They are trying to see the initiative. So if you have impacted 2 people, please do not lie on your application that you have impacted 20,000 people. I don't know, but I think they have a way where they can actually find out how you have gone through this process, right? And another thing that you also want to do is that I think it's a syndrome for Africans. We feel the need to go through the pity party so that we get the scholarship. When you're giving your story out there, do not tell your story in a way that is positioning the person who receives services from you to be at disadvantage. Give your story in a way that the person who receives service from you was just vulnerable, but you're not putting it out in your application, and then you had to help them do some certain kind of things. So Chevening is not a pity party. Chevening is not a poverty elevation scheme kind of program. Chevening does not want you to lie. They are looking for leaders, and your leadership comes truly from your heart. And if everything is coming truly from your heart, there is no need why you have to inflate the numbers. If you think that the numbers are really small for you to mention that, oh, I impacted 5% or 10 out of 15, you can use percentages. 10 out of 15 is like 75% already, right? So you might want to see how you use percentages instead of those numbers, rather than for you to lie about the numbers. No one cares about the numbers. People just want to know that you can take initiatives. I can tell you, if you sit in a room of 100 people, everyone has an idea, a very powerful idea, maybe the same idea. But what makes a distinction is that one person that will stand out to want to do something different, which is opting to learn their leadership skills or just opting to volunteer that services, right? So they're not looking for the numbers, they're not looking for PT, they are not poverty elevation scheme and all that. Tell your story the way it is, the number you impacted, and how you want to grow this number. Maybe you're growing this number by being part of a Chevening community, learning from external leaders, learning from a global network and all those things. Just see how you want to fit the story, but do not lie, because there's a reason why they ask for your LinkedIn. There's a reason why they ask for your social media handles when you're doing your application. They're going to do some kind of background checks. That's what I think, because if your application goes through 4 to 5 different processes, there should be an area where they're doing the background checks concerning these things you have done. So whatever you do, please don't lie. Whatever story you're selling, do not sell the story by painting someone or painting a specific kind of picture that you think that would make the leaders feel pity for you, the person reading your essay feel pity for you. Because if they feel pity for you, what happens to the people that you're serving, right? So just see how your story fits in a way that it's serving your community and not mocking your community. That's just what I wanted to add, because people get the tendency of wanting to inflate the numbers of their impact, or they want to write a pity story for someone to read and be like, oh, let me just give them the scholarship. No one cares about that. And also, one other thing concerning leadership that people always ask is that, should I mention maybe somehow my grades from the union? Or I already mentioned when I started this call already. Chevening is not solely focusing on your grades. They're focusing on your leadership and the academics. So it's not just academics. See how you want to strike a balance between these two things. I don't know if that changed this year, but I forgot to mention when I was talking about the Chevening thing. You should be able to have a 2 years of work experience already. I think they call it like 2,600 hours of work or something. Just so that you're able to, it must not be work. It could be volunteering services and stuff like that. See how you can put them together to give you almost 2 years of experience. Anyways, that's just a little I had to share concerning the leadership, which is from the many applications I've read already. I see people trying to inflate the numbers and all those things. And then when you start doing the math, you see that it's not mathing. You cannot be serving a community of 50 people and then you created impact for 150 people. Where is the other 100 people coming from? So see how you want to balance those things. Anyways, that's what I had to say.
Thank you so much for adding that. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you. So all of you raising your hand, please, you still ask your questions, and we have to just move quite fast because of time. Then we go to number 2, relationship building and influence. So Jumoke, this is for you. Tell us about a professional relationship you've built and maintained. In your answer, please address how was relationship formed and what made it important. What did you contribute to this relationship and what did you gain? How have you sustained or developed this relationship over time, and how will these skills help you build connections within the Chevening community and beyond? Jumoke, if you can hear me, it's for you. It's question number 2. Let me
Thank,
see if Jumoke is okay.
thank you for side. So for the relationship building, I actually only shared virtual experience, which to me was a little bit new. I didn't really think too much of it, but most of my networking experiences has been virtual. So I had like this program that I run in my organization. It's a research program for African youth. And it was really a little bit difficult course in the sense that we don't have resources, we don't have money, it's not a funded course. So I started thinking of how I'm going to recruit facilitator and how I'm going to convince a lot of people to work with me on that project. And I decided I don't attend a lot of conferences because some of them are not even aligned with my interests. And I'm not going to meet a lot of facilitators just attending conferences. So I decided to use LinkedIn. And on LinkedIn, I spoke to a lot of people, doctors, professors, trying to convince them about my idea, trying to sell my idea to them on why this is good for our continent. This will help us push solutions forward and different things like that. And then I still go ahead, like scheduled calls with these people, about 28 of them, different calls, like still convincing them for like literally the first 6 to 3 months. So by the start of the project, I had not only facilitator, I also had supervisors. Like I didn't even think about it before. At the start of the project, these were the insights that these people gave me. This is like a way I condensed this whole story inside like 300 words, right? I just went straight to the point, but this was like the story. So I went ahead to kind of like say it in my essay that the program requires continental and global expertise. And then I built connection with these people. So I didn't just jump into talking to them and saying, oh, come and help me on my program. I started building relationship with these people 3 months ahead. I knew I was going to do this program by February. So I started talking to these people as like last September of the previous year before the program started. So I kept telling them, some of them would be like, remind me when is the closer date, and then celebrating their work, reading their paper. Sometimes I'll just read their paper and then just talk to them that, hello, sir, I don't understand this part of your paper. And then they explain to me. So I kept like building that relationship. And then when the time for the research program was there, I had like enough facilitator to go around, enough supervisor, they even went ahead to like mentor these people, and mentorship was not even part of the program, but then we included it. They went ahead to mentor these people. They shared their research resources that we didn't even have to begin with. Some shared their institutions, publishing stuff, different things that they shared like that. So I just wrote it in my essay that a way to maintain this relationship is to support them, like be in their face. Like if I do small thing, like even if it's like the smallest thing, I'm going to go ahead to tell them that, hi, sir, it's been a while. This is what I've been doing. I look forward to meeting you someday where I can really share the impact of. That's how I maintain the relationship. I maintain it also by like recommending them. I know they are professors. Sometimes they like when you just like talk about their work to someone that you meet. Maybe it's like a distant person. I'm talking to a professor and I'm telling him about the professor I met maybe in my state, Osun State, and can I connect the both of you together? And then when I end up connecting of them together, they're like, oh, it's my old schoolmate, old friend, old guy. And so like that, I maintain the relationship. And then in they also support essay. I was a little bit skeptical because I didn't know that it counted. But then I wrote, because that was only Gen. And when they said that, okay, how am I going to now use this? I actually asked this question also in the interview during my Chevening year. I told them that we're going to be doing maybe programs together. Me, I love planning programs. I love designing initiatives, especially at community level. I would always find a way to talk to people. And this is real. I love to like this. I've talked to over 50 people in my field. Then like marking it down that, okay, we're going to do project together. And this is the exact project I have in mind. Looking forward to exploring. I've met like meet actually, because I've not met them physically, but I've met a lot of people. So that virtual connection that I think didn't stand. It was my story though, but I was a little bit skeptical because nobody was like sharing online. LinkedIn. I specifically added LinkedIn there, onboarded 20 facilitator who became, except I missed any other question. Please feel free to call my attention. Thanks. And over to you.
Thank you so much for that. Yeah, thank you. That was really interesting. I hope you guys are taking tips. So we go to questions 3 and 4. So Siri, you'll be taking 3 and 4, and we just do within like, if you can within 10 minutes, then we take questions from the audience here, and then we can call it a day. And then they will also drop their LinkedIn if they're open to it. So if you want to further connect with them, you can. So question 3 says, explain your first choice of course and university. I pasted it in the chat already. Please relate your answer to one of the UK priority areas for Chevening as referenced on the Chevening website here. Then there are some further notes. What is the specific priority area you wish to address? How will your chosen course equip you to contribute to addressing this theme? Why have you selected your particular university in the UK? How do you plan to immediately apply the knowledge or use skills you will gain after your study? So let's take 3 first, and then after we take 4, and then after we move into questions and answers. Siri, are you with me?
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm right here with you. So
Yeah, can you take question 3?
yeah,
Okay.
since the questions changed from my year, let me read that again. But I think everything is okay, course choice, explain your first choice, of course. So the one your first first choice, of course, and university. Does it mean that they're not going to explain for their 3 universities this year?
Yes, I think it's just the first choice of course and university.
Anyways, the way I approach the question for your university choice and your course, like they already mentioned, it should relate to whatever priorities the UK have in your country. So if you pick a particular, that is studying the UK question, right? Because they have mentioned that you should explain your first choice, your first course and your university, do not dwell solely on the course. Also try to link it to external factors that has to do with the school, because they're also interested in your extracurricular activities, right? So when you start writing your application on that particular aspect, maybe your first choice of university is University of Sussex. I think that's the most common university that all scholars, especially in the development field, want to apply to. So if your first choice is University of Sussex, you pick Sussex because of development studies. Try to see how you can outline one or two areas of studies, what you're going to study there. If you're going to do development studies, maybe something related to politics and development course is on that list, something related to economics is on that list, and all that on the courses you're going to study. So you want to explain briefly why you have chosen that course, why you want to study that particular course, and why you want to study in that university. Now, when you're talking about these things, it spans across different areas. It spans across the area, the location of your university. Sorry for the background noise. It spans across the area of your university. You can talk about, I have selected this particular course because it aligns closely with what I want to do upon completion of my studies, which is innovation management and entrepreneurship. And I picked this course because they have courses that they are really aligning to what I want to do, which starts with maybe global strategies implementation, digital innovation, and all those things. And these things closely align to what I want to do. And then you list those things that you want to do, right? Then you move forward. You're not just captivated by the courses being offered by this university. You have gone further to see what these professors have done the outside the teaching block, outside the university, the four walls of the university, by reading their articles and all those things. You want to connect with these professors personally to see how they have been able to achieve this level of expertise or growth and all those things, and see how you can keep connections with them and how you apply these particular things to your own self or field of studies when you're done with the studies. And then apart from the university and the lecturers that you have mentioned, you want to talk about the city. You like the city because it's calm for studies and all don't only check the university and the courses that you're going to do. Look at the cities too. You want to mention a thing or two concerning that city. You have over 300 words to write, right? So if you have over 300 words to write, see how you want to take the first 20 words for your introduction. Share the other one, mention your 2 or 3 modules in your course that you're going to study and how those modules will help you achieve your career goals. And then mention why you want to do those particular modules in that university. Is it because of the professors that are in that university? Is it because of the university's ranking? Which I think ranking is a little bit cliche. Everyone uses ranking. So you want to find that one thing that people will not write on too much. You can find it using, for me, in my case, I used the alumni from my department. I followed them. I saw what they were doing when they returned back to their country in this particular space and all that, and connected with them. I have connected with them already, discussing with them to see how I can actually bring this kind of impact or create this kind of impact in my home country too. And then I went further to talk about the beauty of my city. This area is not just going to this area is going to be convenient for me to study because it's beautiful, it's calm, and we all know that a calm and beautiful environment enhances studies in one or two ways. So see how you want to, your study in the UK should not just be focused on your university, your courses, your lecturers, and all that. It should be focused on the social part. And when you're talking about your university, like I mentioned, you want to give 1 or 2 highlights about that university that piques your interest. Is it the social life of the university? Is it a student union? Is it the people? Is it the African culture in the university? If you're not African, is it the culture of your own place, Caribbean and all those things in the university and stuff like that? So you want to pick all of these things. The reason I picked my university is because they had a very vibrant African community. I knew that I'm coming from Africa to the UK for my first time. I really have to I have to immerse myself with the community and everything. So I need an African community, and this university strongly supports African communities, not just African communities. Every other continent, they make sure that they have different groups that supports these continents in terms of their growth and everything. I mentioned my lecturers. I really want to work with Dr. Katia and all that because I've seen the great work she has done across 4 different continents in the world, and her work is speaking for itself. I just want to connect with her on a deeper level to see how she was able to do all of these things that she has done within a very short period of time. And where I'm going to be studying is very peaceful, it's quiet, it's calm and everything. So do not just focus on your university. Focus on your university, focus on the educational system, focus on the community in your university, focus in the environment. This environment part can just be like one sentence or two sentences, right? A lot of people don't mention that, but it's really good to mention so that they know that you are not just going to study. You're going to study, you're going to connect, you're going to enjoy the beauty of the UK. Studying a master's in the UK is very difficult, especially if you're doing some kind of courses that you need, it's mind intensive or brain intensive that you need to always focus on, or that you just need all of these distractions some weekends to be able to catch up on order. You can talk about their student unions, their social life and all those things. But now these social lives and the whatsoever should come after you have mentioned the main point, which is your course, your lecturer, and the university itself. I think that's what I have to talk about studying the UK. And then the next part that I'll mention, which is the fourth one, your career plan. I mean, whatever you're writing on your essays, there should be a theme, right? You cannot start your leadership essay talking about development studies. And then I see you talking about your networking, you're mentioning a networking in health. Because now one thing that is really common with our society now is that we have different networking events for different things, and you cannot just connect with these people because you want to connect with these people. You go for these events, not necessarily because it's helping your career growth. Maybe you wanted to see someone. Don't add that to your essay. Just make sure that you add only the events that align with your career growth and everything that you have done. So from start, if I start reading your essay and I'm picking development studies, until I am done with your essay, my focus should be development studies. I don't want to see development studies. I'm seeing health somewhere. I'm seeing climate change. And even if it's climate change, this one tricky course that people study and then they want to write just haphazardly because they think that it's climate change and it's very large and all that. If it's climate change, pick one thing in climate change that you're focusing on, and then let your whole application have that particular theme. I mean, this is just a side comment that I had to mention. Now, the last part, which is your career plan. Your career plan should be very, in fact, I think when I was writing my Chevening essay, that was when I understood that life is more serious than I thought. And I have to be more serious about life than I thought. And I have to pay so much attention to whatever I am doing. And when I was writing my career plan, you have this very big vision in your head. Where do you start? There's an end goal, right? Where do you start? What are the minor things that you do to meet that end goal? It's like a whole roadmap. You start from your short term, and you're not just saying my short-term career plan, or is to come back from the UK and work with international organizations, or my short-term plan is to come back from the UK and then open an NGO for myself. Walk them through how you will open that NGO. Walk them through how you will work in that international organization. Your midterm plan, walk them through how you will connect from your short-term plan to your midterm plan. Your long-term plan, walk them through how you're connecting your short-term, your midterm, and your long-term plan. Do not be haphazard. Make sure that there is a focus. So this is a part where you have to think critically about anything that you're doing. My first day of coming back to the UK, we just know that you will not just come back to the UK and then you're out there already in that kind of a big way. Some people might be lucky to be in that space, right? But majority of the people will have to creep a little, walk, and then they fly. Give them the process. Do not give, when someone is reading your application, don't give them room to ask themselves, okay, so what next after this? Fill all the loopholes the best way possible. And the only way you can fill those loopholes is to read thoroughly the website. That's one. If 1,000 people are applying, I can bet you that only 50 people will read the website thoroughly. That's one thing that will make you stand out. So if you read the website really well, you will understand exactly what they want to do. For your career plan, if they want you to mention your short term, how long is a short term? 3 years? Okay, when I come back from the UK, start from, all right, Jumoke, start from year 1, you move to year 2, you move to year 3. And your midterm is 3 years to the next 6 years. Connect year 1, which is your short term, which is the first 3 years, to the 4th, 5th, and 6th year. And then your long-term career plan, make sure that you still connect them with, if you're going to need some certain connections to be the Minister of Climate Change, That connection will not come in year 4 or year 5 of you being that Minister of Climate Change. You need to start building the connection already from your year 1. So how do you connect the dots? Either from in front or from behind. However you want to connect the dot, just make sure that when someone is reading your application, there is no disconnect. Don't tell me, oh, when I come back from the UK, I'm going to, and then it should be very realistic. You cannot come back from the UK in September and then you're hoping to be a minister of just what is Dawn studying again? I think I did an interview with her. I know that she's doing something in immigration or something.
Migration.
Migration. Yeah, migration.
Migration,
So
yeah.
you cannot just come back and be like, okay, your long term, the end goal is to be the minister of maybe foreign affairs, managing migrations and whatsoever. And you're thinking that when you just come back from it, because Chevening wants you to dream big, you start dreaming big from your short term. They want to see how you do those building blocks. It's more like you're building a house. If you skip a step and you start building the next story, that house is definitely going to collapse. That is not what Chevening wants. They want a solid foundation, and this solid foundation starts from those little things that you do. Tell them about your big dreams. That's okay. Even if it's a dream that you're scared to fulfill, tell them about it, but walk them chronologically on how you're going to achieve all of these things. Don't fly when you have not walked. Don't fly, don't walk if you have not creeped yet. So see how you want to put all of these things, stack them in a way that the building blocks are very solid, that your house or your foundation is not going to collapse when your building is eventually done. So in a nutshell, I'll give an example for what I did. So my intention is to eventually be, I mean, when I say it, people always be like, how wealthy do you want to be? I want to be very wealthy, I want to be influential, and I want to be powerful. This is the broader picture of what I want to do. Now, how do I want to be wealthy? That's not what I said in my essay, but I already know that when I was on the drawing board, that's the 3 steps that I know that I want to achieve. Now, how do I want to be wealthy? I want to be wealthy by creating a business for myself that is going to scale across Cameroon, Africa, and other continents. Now, how do I want to start that? I'm going to start that by working. For my case, I already have over 6 years of work experience, so I really don't need the work experience again to start building, right? But if I come back, I'll need the money to start building the business. How do I get the money? I need to start working with organizations, engage with, because I also want to have influence and power, engage with NGOs and all these things. And I mentioned the NGOs I want to be associated with. I mentioned UNDP, I mentioned GIZ, and I don't know if it's GIZ or GIZ, it's GIZ. And I also mentioned the UK Cameroon because they support this kind of project. Now, the bigger picture where I have on my drawing board is wealth, power, and influence, but they don't know that. But at the end of my application, they are seeing that, and they know that the way I want to create this influence, and the reason I want to create this influence is such that people can follow from my footstep whatever I did, and they saw the progress that it started from creeping, walking, and then eventually start flying. So I want to put this roadmap for them clearly, and then they can see how I walk through all of this path. So make sure that you are not consumed by the idea that Chevening wants ambitious people, really great people and all that, and then you start giving those stories and telling those short-term and long-terms, and you're going up and down. Make sure you follow a particular order. Year 1, this is what I want to do. Be very realistic. Year 2, this is what I want to do. Year 3, this is what I want to do. And it's categorized under my short term. Year 4, year 5, year 6, under my midterm, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, under my long term. Or is it 10 years plus? This is what you want to do. So I think that's all I have to share when it comes to the career plan, because some of the essays I have actually read, I'm seeing the big picture. They want to be a minister of this, and you're talking about being a minister in the next 2 years of you coming back from the UK. And I'm asking myself, okay, it's possible, but this is not the common thing that we know. We know that for you to be a minister, you have to work yourself through the political landscape to a certain extent before you have the visibility of being a youth leader or being a minister or whatsoever. You need to be able to have that population that will vote for you at some point and all those things. So have the big dreams, but see how you want to build your blocks. You want to build your house in a way that your foundation is very solid. And if someone is reading your application, they should not think that, so okay, there's a part of being a minister, but how does she get here? Don't give them any reason to think. fill all the loopholes the best way possible that you can fill the loopholes. And the only way you can fill those loopholes, it's no magic. If I did it, Jumoke did it, and Don did it, we are so certain that you too can do it. Just use your time well. Take an evening. You can even dedicate 1 week just to read and understand what Chevening wants, because people also don't understand what Chevening wants. They just want to apply because they have heard that everyone is posting on Instagram, on LinkedIn. I'm happy to share that, or Chevening this, and then they just want to apply. Understand what the scholarship wants. They want different scholarships, want different things from different people. So try to see how you want to understand what Chevening wants from you, especially this year that things have changed already. Do not submit if you're writing your applications for the second time. Please do not submit that same application without tweaking anything to it. And also make sure that you want to add the progress that you have had within 1 year, because your application cannot remain the same from last year to this year, unless maybe you're not working, you're not moving, you're just stagnant waiting for the scholarship. Thank you so much. If there are any questions, then I can answer from there.
Thank you so much, Siri. Thank you. That was very detailed. So we are moving right into the question right now. Yes, the recording will be made available. So please, if you have a question, please raise your hand, and I would unmute. And you can unmute and you can speak. Please, let's quickly do that in like the next 20 minutes. Then we'll close this because of time. So if you have a question, indicate, please. Any questions? Any question? Okay, Dano, let's just take some questions for this is the last session. So someone says in our applications we got,
Sorry,
how can
my
I
hand
use?
was raised. I was speaking. Apologies.
Oh, okay.
Good
Okay.
evening, everyone from Nigeria. Thank you very much, Sir. Jumoke, and so apologies. Yeah, so my question is, although it's fully funded, yes, but do they cover your accommodation, or you have to cover your accommodation from the stipend that you receive? Thank you very much.
Okay, maybe I'll answer that because I'm a scholar already. So the stipend you receive, that's why I mentioned before that when you're picking your university in your areas, also check the stipend you receive, because whatever stipend you're receiving, I think those in London, you receive like 1,800 or 900 thereabout. And then I don't know, maybe the amount might change this year because it's changed. Sometimes they have a 20% increase or something. So whatever stipend you're receiving covers everything. It's catering for your house rent. Okay, London is 1.7. It's covering your house rent, it's covering your feeding and everything. But let me tell you the way these people have put thought into these things. If your focus is just the scholarship and the stipend, it's going to fit exactly. Your monthly allowance or anything is going to fit exactly in that, whatever they are giving you. So if you hope to save money for later or do anything, you might want to pick a side job.
All right,
Okay, thank you
very
for
much.
that.
That answers my question. Thank you very much.
Okay. Omola, your hand is raised. Can you go ahead?
Okay, yeah, thank you very much for this wonderful session. So my question is this, because I attended a webinar on Chevening Scholarship where it was said that your work experience post graduation now, and I want to ask this question because my work experience post graduation actually spans across nursing, but I have more leadership experience while I was an undergraduate in public health, global health, and I'm willing to explore the public health and global health option. So I want to ask that, does across nursing like focus on the work experience that spans across nursing, or I can just use the one that I had, the leadership experience I had while I was an undergraduate? Do you understand my question, please?
Yes, I think I do. I don't know if Okaf done. I don't know, Jumoke, whoever want. Do you want to take that or should I take it?
I think you can take it because of time. Jumoke has left the call, and Dawn, I'm not sure.
Okay.
Dawn, are you on the call?
Is she on the
Yeah, I'm on
call?
the call.
Do you want to take that question?
She's, if I got her correctly, she's saying that she has more experience in public health, but the program she wants to go for is nursing, right?
No,
I think it's
that's not the
reversed.
no, that's not the question. My confusion now is that the experience has to be post graduation, according to what I read on the website. The leadership experience that I have, like I feel like it's stronger. I had it during my public health and global policy, but the post graduation experience I had is in nursing. So I'm asking that if I use my leadership experience, the one I had while I was an undergraduate, does it count or it has to be strictly after graduation?
Okay, so for what they are counting, for, how will I put it now? For your essays doesn't have to be from 2 years ago. It is your eligibility criteria that starts counting from 2023. For instance, when I was doing my essay, I put clearly there that I started volunteering in 2014, right? So your leadership doesn't necessarily need to have started 2 years ago. I don't know if that's clear. Your leadership journey is not meant to have started 2 years ago. The 2 years experience is for eligibility criteria when you are putting your because in the application process you have to put when you started working and all of that stuff. What they are counting for eligibility purposes is from 2023, but your experience doesn't need to have started from 2023. What I would advise that you do is to give a background or a foundational introduction of yourself from the one you are strongest at, and then link it up to your most recent experiences, right? So don't leave out what you feel is a stronger a stronger experience because it's not from 2023 or 2024. Please don't do that. I beg. So you just have to link it up. You would first of all introduce yourself from the strongest, which is from a couple of years back, and then ensure that you now introduce your experience from the most recent years, which is 2023 and 2024. That way you build stronger credibility for your essays. I don't know if that answers your question.
Yes, it does. Thank you very, very much. I'm really grateful.
Okay. Toluwanimi, let's have you.
Hello?
Toluwanimi,
Good
can you
evening.
hear? Yes, let's have your question.
Hello, this is Jacqueline from Uganda. I am sorry I came in late, but there's something I wanted to inquire from you. I applied for the last Chevening Scholarship and even different universities. I had gotten an offer in a certain university. Can now, if I again apply, can I go back to those universities or I can change? Is it fine? Thank you.
Thank you, Jacqueline. The question I was asking was to Dawn, because she's Nigerian. So would you include your NYSC experience as work experience? And would you necessarily give a context of NYSC, or you just count it as work experience and trust that they understand? And my second question is, and this one is to Siri, would you drop names? Like, I'm the kind of person who is not very comfortable with like name dropping people, but then the questions are asking, oh, how do you network? How do you maintain this professional relationship? Like, are you expected to actually name the names of people?
So I've not got you well because the network is busy.
Yeah, so
Someone.
Don, before you answer
Okay.
Toluwanimi's question, can Siri take Jacqueline's question and then you answer Toluwanimi's two questions?
Unfortunately, I did not hear what Jacqueline said. I think she was a little bit far from her mic or something. I don't know.
Jacqueline, can you take that again?
Okay, thank you so much. This is Jacqueline from Uganda. Last time I applied for Chevening Scholarship, and we are supposed to look for 3 courses and different universities, all the same universities. Unfortunately, Chevening did not give me, but the university, they gave me an offer letter, and they had sent me a message that the deadline for my offer letter is 15 September, but I no longer have a scholarship from Chevening. So I was asking, if I apply now, can I go back to those universities again, because I had wanted the courses from those universities? Can I use the same, or I can change? Thank you.
Yeah, so what you can do with that is you just email your university to defer your admissions. So UK universities have a tendency of, if you don't come this year, they can defer your admission to next year. So reach out to the university and then tell them that you are unable to meet up with the financial responsibility to move in, to come to the UK this year to study with them. Can they defer your admission to next year? 90% of the time, they'll definitely defer your admission to the next year.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, John, so you can answer Toluwanimi's question, then after that we take those just reading the answer and we call this a close. Don, are you on the phone?
Sorry, my network is going in and out. Is it my turn yet?
Yes, to answer Toluwanimi's question.
Okay, so she asked if I included in my NYC experience. Yes, I actually did. As part of my my 2,800 hours eligibility, right? Yes, I did, because work experience counts from after graduation, and it can include voluntary or paid work, right? So NYC is part of it. And I did not essentially have to explain to them what it was. Like, oh, NYC is this, and that. I just put where I worked, what I did, from when to when I worked, and how many hours, right? So that was what I did. I also put it in my essay, actually, my leadership essay. No, sorry. I think it's my relationship building essay. I also dropped it there that I was deployed by the federal government of Nigeria to work at Ministry of Women Affairs in Delta State under my compulsory 1-year national service. So you can do the same thing if you want to, or you can take a different approach. I hope that helps you.
It does. Thank you very much.
Okay, so let's just go to Victoria. Then after Victoria, we take Fasilat and Osna, and then we round up, please.
All right, thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. So my question is regarding this scholarship. So once like for instance, I'm able to get it, and if in my own interest, okay, I decided that I want to stay back in the UK for a while before returning back to Nigeria, is it allowed in their policy? That's my first question. Secondly, whenever I decide to come back, will my trip be sponsored? Like, will they pay for the tickets and all? So that's just my own clarity. Thank you.
Victoria. Hi, Victoria.
Yeah,
I'm
me
sorry.
too.
I don't
Thank
mean
you.
to sound sarcastic to you, but I'm just sorry to say that if at this point, this particular question you are asking, you haven't answered it, then I'm not sure you're ready for the Chevening Scholarship, because all of those things, it's on the Chevening website. So if you read, like I already mentioned, one of the criteria that will, one of the qualifying factors for you to be a Chevening Scholar is to read through their website thoroughly, because they mentioned therefore it's a fully funded scholarship, which means that they cover your travel expense, your accommodation, stipend, whatever they're giving you and stuff like that. And also still on that same website, it tells you that when you're done with your Chevening scholarship, you must return home to your home country for at least a period of 2 years before moving again to the UK. While some people are trying to bypass this system, I don't think it's a good thing for anyone to do because it's just 2 years, right? You're coming to the UK to study, going back to your home country to develop your home country, which sometimes, if you also read the Chevening website really well and follow up with their statistics, their annual reports and stuff like that, you understand that they also give an amount sometimes to scholars who have projects that are aligning with the UK priorities at the moment for them to execute those projects. So one thing I'll advise you to do now, I can actually give you all the information you need, but if you don't read the information to understand it in your own capacity, whatever I'm saying or whatever we are saying on this call will literally not make any sense to you. So please just take an evening or a weekend if you're working. I can understand how the course of the week might be too busy. Try to see how you can set aside Saturday or Sunday just between popcorn and drinking Coca-Cola and then just going through the websites, because all of the answers we are giving you or all the questions we are receiving here, if you read the Chevening website, you read the Q&A section, all of these things have been answered. That's one website that I keep telling people that they are so intentional and detailed that they have not missed a single thing on that website. Ask any Chevening scholar. If you go on that website, whatever you're imagining to ask, people have asked already. So if you read the website and it's not enough for you, you read the Q&A section, you will definitely find an answer to whatever you're looking for. But I'll just answer the question you asked now. Yes, it's fully funded. They're going to pay for everything. Once you're done with the scholarship, you have an obligation to return back to your home country for a period of 2 years before moving back again to the UK if you want to move to the UK. And everything it's covered. So my program ends in September, but I want to move back to Cameroon in January because there's elections in my country, October, and it's not really a safe period for anyone to be in Cameroon, right? And I messaged the embassy and I told them the reason why I'm going to stay to that period. And I did not have the right to message, I did not have the obligations to message them because my visa actually expires in January. So whenever your visa is expiring, just make sure you don't extend. If it's January, make sure you go before your visa expires or just anything. So yes, see that you go through the website. It's just less than 2 hours, you'll be done. Not even up to 2 hours because it's actually fun though, reading the stories for the people and all that. So for everyone on the call, it's just a simple advice I'm giving. Please, please, please go through the website. You have anything you're imagining in your head, it's been answered at the Chevening website. Those are one of the websites I don't have to play with.
Okay, thank you so much. So I think Fasilat, we can have you, but before we have you done, so we have some questions. They're saying, can someone with second class lower get the scholarship, and then can someone with second class upper without any publication get the scholarship? Don, this is for you since you're a Nigerian. Okay, if Don is not here, Fasilat, can you answer your question and let's see,
So for the first
because
and second class part, I think we already mentioned on the call already. Chevening is not heavy on academics. Their focus is on leadership. So if you graduated with a second class lower division, a second class upper division, a first class or whatever, and you have leadership experience, you have led at your organizations, you have led at where you work, you have an organization that you're leading people, you have created solutions where there was a problem and all that. So you're a problem solver and you have not just problem solver in your head, but you have actually acted upon a problem and created a solution for, you are free to apply for the Chevening Scholarship. They are not heavy on academics. So that's why I mention again, know the scholarship you're applying for. Chevening is highly focusing on leadership over education. I mean, for the most part, people who have applied for it, they actually had good results. And I've also seen people who have applied for the scholarship with the second class lower division, and they got the scholarship.
Okay, thank you so much. Then someone asked, how can one use AI to leverage, how can one leverage AI? for the application, it's quite a question I saw here that I think we should take. Like, how can one leverage AI for the application? I think we need to make my application stand out. Yes, how can I leverage AI to make my application stand out? So that's the question.
Is Don on the call? Is Don taking this question or can I go ahead?
I don't know if Don's network is strong.
Okay. Before there was the AI, before AI came in 2022, there was you, right? And you had done so many things. And the magic about AI is that if you use AI, if you're someone who is very vigilant, you read through an essay that someone wrote that essay using AI, you would definitely know. They don't want you to be robotic. That's one thing about Chevening. From your application to the interview, do not be robotic. The way, okay, you can use an AI like Grammarly, maybe to correct your spellings and all that and stuff like that. And there was an argument that people say, okay, you write a story and then AI put the grammars for you and fix everything and stuff like that. But I really think that if you read an AI-powered application or AI-written application, you can identify the difference from someone who truly wrote that applications from the depths of their hearts. You can use something like a tool that can help you correct your grammar, your spelling, and all those things, but do not run it with AI or do not tell AI, I have done this in Lagos, Nigeria, and blah, 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 blah. Can you further craft this thing for me to be more powerful for achieving an application? Please don't do that. They will know. So write your story and then use maybe like a Grammarly or anything to just correct grammatical errors, punctuations, and stuff like that. That's what I recommend, because if I read a human written essay, I can distinguish it from an AI written essay. And I know this because last year I reviewed so many applications and I could tell the ones that used AI. And when I got back to them and then they had to send back the second part of the application, you would see the difference. So yes, use an AI tool that will help you correct your grammar and stuff like that, but please write from your heart. Sometimes it's those little things that will make you stand out from the application that you'll be selected. Thousands of people are applying. If 100,000 are applying, I can bet you that 70,000 will use AI, or even 90,000 will use AI. Be part of that 1% that will not use AI. That's what is going to make you stand out. Remember, Chevening is very competitive. The tiny things that you will do, very tiny things that you will do that will make you stand out is things like reading the website thoroughly, understanding what this scholarship is all about, writing your essay handwritten and all that, making sure that what people will fail to pay attention to are the things that you are paying attention to. If that makes, I don't know if that makes sense to anyone, but if it does, okay. If it doesn't, I'll also repeat myself. You want to be the 1% of the 100,000 people applying for the scholarship. The little thing, everyone is excellent. They have maybe done things better than you have done those things, right? They have executed really great, amazing projects and all that. But what is going to make you stand out are those very tiny details that people will not pay attention to, that is going to make you stand out. So if you can, use a week to write one essay by humanly thinking written application. Use the next week to write another one section. Use the other. It's just 4 sections, right? So you can use 1 month just to write the applications. If you think that the AI thing will make you write faster, and then you're using your own skills will make you write slower, you can partition it. Everything is just planning. If you plan it well, 3 days, I'm going to focus on leadership. 3 days, I'm going to focus on this one. You will get it right. So try to do that 1% that everyone will not do. That's all I have to say. But if you want to go ahead to use AI, it's still okay.
Thank you so much for that insight, Siri. Thank you. Fasila, please, let's go to you, please. Osna will be the last person to ask the question, please, because of time.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
I'm Fasila from Nigeria. So thank you very much for the insight. Thank you very much for putting this together. So my own question is whether or not we could actually get the speakers to help us review our essays. Like, I'm saying this on behalf of everyone. I know this is a very, very tight one to ask, but is it possible for the speakers, like, can we submit our essays to them, considering the fact that we're part of this session? It's easier to get them rather than like going to people on LinkedIn, because I've tried quite a number of people and most of them are not even getting back. So is it possible to get speakers to help us review our essays? Thank you very much.
Okay, so Siri, Dawn, that's for you. They would answer that themselves. Yeah.
Yeah, now I feel bad that I'm on the hot seat now and I have to if I'm being honest, I'm not sure I'll be able to review essays this year because I am also writing my dissertation now. And I can tell you for a fact that it's really brain draining. And the person who reached out to me concerning this webinar, I think it's done, but I call her Okafor. We actually had to squeeze a lot for us to have this time. So I cannot assure you that I can proofread your essays or go through your essays and all that. I already have like 6 waiting for me to read them. So I cannot tell you for a fact that I can go through those essays with you because I'm also doing my dissertations at the moment and all that. But if you really see the pressing need, I might just have to squeeze in for you, but we are almost like 26 on the call. If I say yes, it means I should be expecting like 15 emails or 20 emails. And to be very honest, that's going to be a lot. That's why programs like this webinars actually help, because you have to tackle a whole number of people for you to go through the process. 20 people to review 20 applications is a lot. Even the 5 I have on my desk now, they're actually more than me to review at the time. I don't know how we can do it. Are you done with your application? Who asked the question?
It's me, ma. No, ma, I'm still on the essays. I'm still on the leadership essay.
You're still writing the leadership essay. When do you estimate to be done,
Yes.
please? That's if you have planned, because I think if you have planned, you should have an estimation when you'll be done. I want to see if I can
Yes, next week.
my dissertation.
Next week, ma. I'll be
I don't
done
want you
next
to
week.
rush it. Just be honest. When do you
Okay,
think
ma.
your schedule will be okay for you to accommodate the 4 essays?
Yes, I already have a draft. So I'm looking at next weekend to perfect it. Between this weekend and next weekend, I plan to perfect it.
I just knew that I was shooting my leg in the foot. My shooting myself in the foot. I'm already seeing some direct messages already. Okay.
I'm so sorry, ma.
All right, that's fine. That's fine. Let's see how we can work around next week. And the people sending me direct messages to oh my God. Yes, send the aces. Let's see how it goes. I don't know, but it's going to be hard, but let's see how it goes.
Thank you so much, ma. Thank you, ma.
Okay, thanks so much, Siri. I think to make it easier, you can just maybe if you need your approval, I can just send them your email and they send you an email, and then you can, instead of replying, and you can maybe, if people have similar questions or so about the application, you can just batch reply all of them together. If that works for you.
Yes, I think that works. You can give them my email address and then we'll pick it up from there.
Okay, I'll do that. Okay, thank you. Then Osna, you're the last person, please. Let's have you.
Okay, my name is Usna Itunde from Nigeria. Thank you for the opportunity. I would say most of my questions have been answered. The last thing I was about to ask was just asked now by Ms. Fasilat. So it's concerning the review also. But I'm really glad because I would say my Siri has done a lot. She has just given a lot of enlightenment, and from all the webinars I've been attending, I would say these are the key things. When you really pay attention to everything on the website, you go through the Q&A and like everything is just there. And just like she said, and I'm trying to encourage each and every one of us, because we are very few on this call. We could be among those 1% that could land it and come back to appreciate the speakers and the organizers here, maybe this time soon.
So I would just like encourage us to just like put in more effort, and then just like try to sacrifice the whole time to do it excellently. Yeah, we know AI is here to help us, but we have been doing it before it came, so we can still do it just for this case only. So let's just like to also make our work easy because she's doing a dissertation. We wouldn't want to inconvenience her. Sometimes we should just like try to pay attention to these details without like bothering her too much. So I'll just say thank you. Let me just wrap it up. I totally appreciate the session. Like it was amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that, Osna. And yes, thank you to everyone who attended. We spent over 2 hours. Like really, it's really been detailed. So as long as you register for this, you get the recording so you can also watch and you can share with other people. I have dropped Siri's email address in the chat. I have also dropped Don's name on LinkedIn in the chat so you can reach out to them. And please do not put too much pressure on them. I understand they're also trying to help you, but also reach out. You never can tell, and a lot can happen. I mean, I'm hoping, I'm expecting, I'm praying that next year there will be people on this call who will be Cheveners, who will be like Chevening class of 2026, 2027. In Jesus' name. So, and thank you so much, Siri. Thank you so much. Like she said, she's running her dissertation and she really had to squeeze this time. And I'm even like surprised she could even stay for over 2 hours and give such detailed, enlightening, accurate insights. So thank you so much, Siri. It's really been a pleasure. And thank you for honoring the invite. Thank you so much for giving back, as it were. Thank you so much. We really learned a lot. I personally also learned a lot. Thank you so much. And thank you, Dawn. Dawn's not on the call. Our network keeps dropping. But thank you so much, Dawn. And then Dawn was even the one who connected me to Siri. I mean, she was like, most people are writing their dissertation. I might not be able to come on board, but there's finally someone who answered and it turned out to be Siri. So thank you so much. Then Jumoke already left quite some minutes ago. So thank you so much, Jumoke. Jumoke is Jumoke Omodeni on LinkedIn and on Instagram. I'm going to drop that in the chat so you can always connect with them. Yes, and please, you already have your email addresses. You also have a series of more such applications where, for instance, there's a webinar on Commonwealth Scholarship. Commonwealth Scholarship is currently open. So it's also going to be coming up. Then Erasmus will be opening, or even, I think it's even already opening. So that will be coming up. So just watch out for our emails and get in these webinars whenever we send the emails. I mean, really, and put in your application, put in your best. And definitely, I know that you'd have a testimony, definitely. So thank you so much once again, Siri. Any parting words from you, and then we'll bring it to a close.
And Hosna, do you have anything more to say? I still see your hands up.
No, I don't think she has. I think no, she doesn't.
Oh, okay. I think my last word for everyone is that I'm wishing you all the very best from the deepest part of my heart. And I just want to assure you that if I made it, if Don made it, if Jumoke made it, you too can make it. Now just do your possible best to be the 1% that stands out. So many people have gotten the scholarship. We don't have 2 heads. We don't have 4 hands and we don't have 4 legs. We are normal human beings just like you. Not to shade the disabled people and all that, but people who have even disability have gotten the scholarship. What more of you, right? So we all have equal chance to win the scholarship. The only thing that will make us get the scholarship, whether you're disabled, whether you're not disabled or anything, we all have equal chances. The only distinction that you're going to make is to do the little things that the majority of people will not do. I keep emphasizing on this because I have held so many events and it's so difficult for people to read a simple email till the end, to read through the email, to understand what the email is actually saying, or to read a particular message to finish and see what that thing is saying. So please do your best. If they say put in 100% to get the scholarship, please put in 110% because everyone out there is going to put in that same 100% And the people putting in the 100%, they are way smarter than you, or you are way smarter than them. But since you're working on a global scale, we are assuming that they are smarter than you. So if they're giving in 100% with their level of smartness and the level of work they have done, leadership, networking, and all that, how do you think your 100% is going to serve you, right? So make it 110% or make it 105% so that your 5% can be that thing that will serve you and distinguish you from the other people who are giving their 100%. We all know that cheating is competitive. People are writing these essays for the 7th time. So they have built capacity. They have done the work already. You is just starting now. What do you want to do different that would make you get the scholarship? I applied for the first time and I got it. Shockingly, people were like, oh, it's very hard for someone to get it for the first try and all that, but I got it. It was God's grace and the level of dedication I put. I would just like to leave it at, take this thing personal. You see how people always say life is not too serious? Sorry to say, life is serious. Life is very serious. And anything you are doing that you want to be the best at it, you have to be serious, you have to be dedicated, you have to be committed, and you have to be very intentional about that thing. Do it like your life depends on it, honestly. And then just do it. The common thing that we have heard so far in 2025 is that do it scared, do it happy, do it unprepared, do it unsure on anything. Just make sure that you put in your best food and put in that best food with an extra 5% or 10% extra, which is going to make you stand out. That's just all I have to share with the community. And I look forward to seeing your beautiful post on LinkedIn when you eventually make it next year, celebrating the Shepherd Network Africa. That's all I have to say. And I wish you guys all the best from the deepest part of my heart. Hope to see you guys in the UK soon. Bye.
Bye, Siri. Thank you so much. Everyone can unmute
Thank you
your
so much,
mic
Siri.
and
Thank
say
you so
thank
much.
you, Siri.
Bye,
Thank
bye,
you.
bye. Thank you so much. God bless you.
You're welcome, everyone.
Thank you very much, Siri.
Uh,
God
I
bless
think we're
you.
just
Thank you so much.
all right,
And I
guys.
wish you success in your dissertation, right?
Thank you so much. It's been so hard, but I'm putting in my best.
Thank
All
you
right,
so
bye,
much
everyone.
for
Bye.
this
Bye.
information. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye. Hi, hello.
Okay, bye everyone. Bye. Then go now. Oh, not the recording.